Hi, I'm Nicole, and this is Haunted Threads After Dark, where I read spooky, chilling stories to you. So turn up the volume, turn down the lights, and whatever you do, don't look behind you. So today I'm going to be reading something that's more a little bit in the paranormal genre. It's called The Dog Knew Something We Didn't. I haven't read this story yet, so hopefully I don't stumble too much. I'm 29 now and still yet to forget every detail about a night at my friend's when I was 16. I will start the story by saying my friend's house was a big mansion. It was 5 bedrooms with a live-in maid suite. It had maybe a mile driveway with a pond out front, located on Lake Ontario, which is something that will be relevant at the end of the story. One night, his parents were away at a wedding. It was just me and Chris and their dog, Max. Max, to this day, is the most well-trained and well-mannered dog I have ever come across. He is unbelievably smart, aware, and I don't remember even hearing him bark. We are watching some show or documentary on Aboriginal culture. I think we were laughing at each other, imitating some Aboriginal war cry or tribal sounds. We were eating pizza and wings with money his parents left and having a good night. Chris left to put the pizza away, and when he came back to the room, his energy was different. He said he just wanted to go to bed, go to his room. It was still before 11, which was early for teenagers who were home alone. But fine, cool, no questions asked. So I was lying in bed alone when a sound took my attention to the nightstand on the other side of the bed. I saw a pair of headphones, the kind with small earbuds and wires slowly moving off the side, dangling down until gravity took over. It was definitely notable enough because I couldn't convince myself that was a situation where it was just a weird gravity illusion, because only about 2 inches at the end of the cord was hanging over, with the rest of the wire spread across the surface. I watched as if the cord was being pulled down slowly till enough wire was over the edge and fell to the ground. Then Chris entered the room with Max, and I hesitantly told him what I saw because he didn't like me bringing up weird crap. He reacted strangely, almost angry, asking me if I was messing with him because he was already spooked. "You're already spooked?" I asked, and what he told me freaked me out. He said when he was putting away the pizza in the fridge, a 2-liter Coke bottle on the counter tipped over and rolled off. When he went to pick it up, the fridge door slammed shut. He walked back in the room with me and said it was time for bed. I told him to chill out and maybe I was just seeing things, and convinced him and maybe myself that it was just a weird gravity situation. I must have moved it enough to start the process of falling when I got onto the bed. Within 2 minutes of us in bed, chatting away, the lamp on the nightstand on his side turned on. The table lamp was one of those where you touch anywhere to turn it off. We both went silent. We looked at each other and then back at the lamp. Before we could get a word out, it turned off. We were both stiff as a board. 10 seconds passed on. Now remember, calm, well-reserved Max, he started growling in the direction of the nightstand. I have never seen this dog do anything like that in the 7 to 9 years of knowing him. This lasted maybe 20 seconds, but I can promise you it felt like an eternity, being frozen in fear. Then the light turned off, and Max runs like a bat out of hell, chasing something out of the room. When he sprints out the door, it slams behind him. We hear him running down the stairs, and we both went after him. After all, the dog was one of the boys, for real. When we got to the bottom of the stairs, we noticed he went all the way down into the basement. This is where we stopped for a minute. Max is one of the boys, but his basement was scary, and his basement was scary as F during the day. Never mind in this instance. The growling suddenly turned into a yelp, quickly. We pleaded in our calls for him to come up. He came up very slowly after, with his tail quite literally shaking between his legs. We got on our shoes and got the F out of there. We walked down the driveway with Max and contemplated our next move. Should we go back in, or should we find somewhere else to go? While looking back at the house from the road, we noticed his bedroom light turned back on. That was a big nope. We phoned a friend that was a 20-minute walk away and told them we needed to crash there for the night. Here's the kicker. His father installed cameras over the house for reasons I don't know for sure, but can only assume. Apparently, he caught some freaky things, including a night where the fridge, freezer, and cabinets in the kitchen all opened at once. I saw this video, which exonerated us all on the accusations from the past. He told me of shadows and other unpleasant things he caught that I never saw myself, but could only imagine. Years later, they moved out. His father had sleep apnea that completely disappeared the first week of being in the new environment. His mother had bad vertigo episodes that never happened again. Out of denial, he admitted an ugly truth. I forgot to mention earlier in the story that his family had built this house from the ground up. Early in construction, they discovered what seemed to be several burial sites of old human remains. He never reported them in fear the project would be put on hold until a full property investigation could take place. It could have been a year delay, and that did not sound like something he wanted to deal with. The decision took a toll, to say the least. I can't help but think it was weird that the same night we were making fun of an Aboriginal show was the same night we got totally taunted and effed with. Maybe the ghost was Aboriginal descent. Bones in the area we live in is common occurrence in new developments. A known area of history with Aboriginal roots. Maybe just a theory. This opened me up to the life of investigation about supernatural and unknown. Not calling people crazy or full of crap. Before that night, I had no interest in the subject other than avoidance. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what's going on. However, I think it was a coincidence that this all happened that same night that you guys were making fun, because if it was happening before, then, it was already happening. So it's not like, that's the reason. But anyway, I hope that you liked this story. And if you have any stories of your own that you would like me to give a voice to, then please go ahead and email me at hauntedthreadsafterdark@gmail.com, and I would love to read them and give them a voice. If this story gave you chills, then follow Haunted Threads After Dark for more nightmares. Until then, sleep tight if you can.